many, many years ago when I wore a younger man's clothes, that I was talking to this nice old lady. She was telling me about her brother, and I could see the pride that she had. And she was telling me about his service, the Great War, World War II. And she asked if I wanted to see some photos, and I said, absolutely. So she took out a shoebox that was weathered and worn, and she showed me photos. And I could see this is like first-hand combat, and I was so impressed. I'm 18 years old, and as she's going through and she's talking about it like it was just happened yesterday. And she got to one where it's just him and her standing there, and tears just came down her face. And I'll tell you what, that struck me right then and there what sacrifice is. It's not just our soldiers, it's their families, it's their brothers, sisters, mothers, and fathers, and all they do. Because you think about how much that affects them and how they carry on. They pick up the shattered pieces and they move on. That's amazing. That's a tribute to this country. That's a tribute to our veterans. They do something that's greater than themselves. They stand up when so many stand down. They do it for their friends. They do it for a country. They do it for a cause. They do it for a mission, and they don't stop. Someone once asked me, how do you carry on when you have such tragedy? You do it for the mission. You do it for your friend. You do it for your fellow soldier, the men and women that stand with you. That's amazing, to stand there and carry forward when it's so easy not to. It's scary that we have so few of these out there. Some want to look at that flag and they say it's just nylon and cloth. But we know what it is. It's sacrifice. It's standing up. It's doing what's right. And we can have difference in opinions. We can disagree on many things, but we're all cloaked in that flag. We're for one purpose, one people, one cause. And when you look back and you hear these stories and these old veterans, I just had the Veterans Breakfast. There was a credible story of a World War II vet, a Marine pilot. He was making a bombing run. He was shot in the shoulder with a 37 millimeter. Drops his bomb, pulled up, and he's heading back to base. And he realized, I got another bomb. He went back and dropped the second bomb. That's amazing courage. But we have it in every walk of life. You know, it exists all around us, and we have to appreciate it. We have to acknowledge it. And that's why this is a very, very special day. To all your veterans, I salute you. To all your veterans, job well done. And thank you for your service.
Thank you, Chief. I think he's got a little problem at headquarters. Can you stay, or can it's a clogged toilet or not? No, I don't know. Our last speaker kind of pinch hit on Veterans Day as the mayor-elect, because the mayor in office thought his term was up, and so we got the mayor. She hasn't even been in a year yet, and I think she's done a terrific job. She's going to introduce some council people that are out there. What is there, 4? No, not right now. I mean, there's 4 that were in the service. Yeah. We have 4 out of the 10 council people were in the service in 3 different branches. So she'll introduce them just to wave. But she continued the mayor's breakfast last week. There was about 100 more people than ever before. So it was pretty terrific. And because Joe was talked into it, he says, well, you're going too, right? And so I had her up at Bunnell too. So it was terrific, and looking forward to her next 12 years. Right, first dude? 12? So I would like to thank her for everything that she's done this week with the veterans, the breakfast, coming to Bunnell. She talked to the kids too about what it means to the community to have you guys in it, and the work that we do down at 9460 in any veteran. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mayor Hoydick, Laura Hoydick.
Thank you, Commander. There's a few things in your community, or there's many things in your community that you value and you honor. We're honoring you today for your service. We're honoring those who are not here today for their service, who protected our rights and liberties. And we're also honoring this gentleman for his service to 9460. When I had the privilege and pleasure of going with Chief McNeil and Captain Wilcoxon and Commander Kennedy to Bunnell, with Mr. Savatic and with Mr. Roberts, Mr. Ed Roberts' son, Luke Roberts, we were in one of his classrooms. It was extremely special to be able to talk to the students about people they knew and the sacrifices they gave and the service they rendered. And having this gentleman who has been in the forefront with our students, with our youth, reminding them not to forget, reminding them how important this service that you've all given and you continue to give is important to all of our lives. So Dick, congratulations to you. And based on Dick not letting us forget, our community has stepped up again in wonderful ways. We were able to honor 170 veterans Thursday at a breakfast, which was wonderful. We went to Bunnell High School, the Poppies at Eli Whitney, Second Lane had flags, Nichols School decorated their fence, and there's probably more that I don't even know about. But I'm so proud of our community for honoring what Memorial Day is and the service of our veterans and the service of our military. And as Dick mentioned, we do have several council who have served. We have the council chair, Jim Cotter behind me from the Air Force. Bill O'Brien and Bill Perillo from the Marines. Ron Tickey, who is standing right out there, Navy. And then we have several other volunteers, council, and elected officials. We have Greg Can from the 5th District, Wally Kadim from the 3rd District, Crystal Havey from zoning, our judge of probate, Kurt Alberg, Chris Pia, 1st District, Laura Dancho, 10th District, and Phil Young, state representative from the 120th. And standing in the back, and I kissed him hello, and I'm sorry I forgot you, Councilman from the 4th District, Dave Harden. Did I miss anybody else? Okay, great. So when we were talking about honoring for this Memorial Day and doing a few things a little differently, we decided that we would have a float to honor Stratford and those who had served, and just to honor the town. So a Marine veteran, George Grom, stepped up to be the float master. And oh, by the way, George has coined my husband the first Jude. So this is how it's all coming about. So George has a float, and when they started the plans for this float, which were several Stratford art teachers were involved in planning it and working on it. Rich Fedett, our zoning chairman, also was very involved. We decided to put it out to the community if anybody else would like to do, maybe step it up a little bit. So I'm sure you've seen the Indian Guides and Indian Princesses structures that they put on the Jeeps and they put on the pickup trucks and they throw candy to all the kids. Well, I just want to tell you that the Indian Guides and Indian Princesses stepped up again, and they have a float in honoring those at Iwo Jima. And it is the erection of the American flag with all the servicemen around it. And when it goes by, I'd hope you would salute them and thank them also for keeping the memories forward and representing South Stratford so very well. So, thank you all for being here. Thank you for your service, veterans, and enjoy your Memorial Day.
Thank you, Mayor. We do have our closing ceremony. Again, I want to thank you and appreciate everything. These veterans, I'm looking down on them. There's a U.S. Navy World War II guy. Next to him is a Vietnam veteran. Next to him is a fellow named Jim Morgia. He's a World War II veteran, and up until this year, he always walked the parade route, and his daughter called and said, "Oh, I don't know if he could do that." I said, "God, why not? He's only 95. But he's been great, and we got him a driver and a convertible, and we'll be ready to go. There's Korea vet there, Vietnam, and I know there's many more of you out there, but parade is starting in a half an hour, so we will close this thing out. Captain of formations, prepare to render honors.
Color guard. Attention. Ready? Shoot.
Father Nick, would you close it out?
This proud Eagle Scout, back in 1977, always remembers the words of the Declaration of Independence, that our rights come from God to protect life, liberty, and to remember those who, for their sacrifice, gives us the wonderful joy to pursue our happiness. May God bless us all. Amen.
This concludes our ceremony for this 150th anniversary of Memorial Day. I want to thank you again all for coming. And as I say at the end of my speeches, wherever I am, please, please respect, honor, and help if you can the firemen of our town, the police department. Respect them. They're putting their life on the line, just as everybody here that's wearing something, a veteran. You did it. They're doing it for the town. So that and the EMS who has to race to houses and accidents and everything to get things going, try and save lives. And I want to thank the Boy Scouts for coming. And goodbye.